Let me raise the point or the issue I wanted to raise.
Yes,
Having gone through the electronic version of the statement, which, as I say, we received in the evening yesterday, I noticed, and this must be true of my colleagues as well, that the statement implicates Advocate Johnson quite seriously. What I wanted to raise, I do have thoughts of my own as to why what I'm going to raise did not happen. My mind is focusing, for example, on the fact that what Advocate Johnson is implicated on was not put to her. I can imagine why not, but I would like you to please comment on that, Ms. Siegels, and Ms. Siegels Ncube, and perhaps also address us on how, in practical terms, this is going to be addressed so as to treat Advocate Johnson fairly.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the position is that on the 22nd of July, when Advocate Johnson gave evidence regarding certain events that occurred in the Mokwele investigation, she mentioned the name of Mrs. Ramsamy. And during that evidence, I received personally, because I was assisting Advocate Selo, I received a message from a DPCI officer who had indicated to me that Ms. Ramsamy had made certain disclosures to him regarding these matters and had wanted to consult on the matters. That is why I excused myself from those proceedings and discussed it with the NPA, and we arranged a consultation with Ms. Ramsamy for the 22nd of July while Advocate Johnson was giving her evidence. So we first became aware of these allegations against her during her evidence, and the witness was very clear that she had wanted to give evidence in public. She was aware of the allegations that she was making, that they were serious, but had not wanted them to be put to Advocate Johnson until she had been given an opportunity to give her full version, because her intention was in any event to only make this disclosure under protected disclosure protection after Advocate Johnson gave her evidence. But given that Advocate Johnson had implicated her in these proceedings, she thought that the correct process to follow would be to come to us with that evidence. So we did not have this information prior to Advocate Johnson giving her evidence. It only became known to us during her evidence. The intention is to serve a Rule 3 notice on Advocate Johnson to address these allegations, Chair. And that will be done during the course of today and tomorrow, depending on whether there are further matters that emanate from her evidence. As Chair would notice from her statement, she wants to give evidence in two parts, and she's only submitted one statement thus far. There will be another statement which further implicates Advocate Johnson. So it is either that we'll serve the notice today in respect of this first statement, or we will wait until she concludes her evidence on both statements. Second statement not yet provided and concluded, and then we will furnish a full Rule 3 notice on Advocate Johnson.
And the first statement was finalized only yesterday,
The first statement
which was Advocate Johnson's last day of testimony.
Correct, Chair. This last night is when the statement was finalized at shortly after 6. And it was signed, she signed it this morning. The statement.
Oh, I did not even notice that what I read was not signed.
Yes, Chair.
Yes,
it was an unsigned version yesterday, and she signed this morning. The statement.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We'll take the adjournment then, and we'll hear from you when we should come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
All right, tea adjournment there at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Now, on the stand today, a state advocate with the Independent Directorate Against Corruption, Drushantha Ramsamy. Now, Commission Chair Justice Madlanga noting a very pertinent point that the testimony of Ms. Ramsamy seriously implicates Advocate Andrea Johnson And he's quite concerned that it prejudices Advocate Johnson because she has concluded her testimony, having concluded yesterday. But evidence leader Advocate Siegels Mngube detailing that the witness was still consulting with her lawyers, and this was after her name was brought up at the Commission of Inquiry by Advocate Johnson. So there clearly was a bit of administrative issues that still needed to be ironed out before she could then put forward her statement, which now has since been signed. But on the part of the adjournment itself at this point, evidence leader Mahlapi Silo indicating a bit earlier that they encountered administrative challenges post the testimony yesterday of Ms. Johnson and needed for the witness statement to be printed, specifically because there are a lot of annexures. We all know that commonly there would be a digital copy of the statement, but Mahlapi Silo indicating that there are certain annexures that have become available now, so most certainly they would then need the hard copy. It wouldn't be quite easy for the witness right now to start off with a testimony when the annexures aren't present. So essentially a bit of an adjournment there. We don't know exactly when they'll be returning, but as soon as the printers have concluded the hard copies aspect of things, then we should be taking you back to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.